You know that incredible moment when a puck just blasts past the goalie and hits the back of the net? It's the best part of hockey. But have you ever really stopped to think about what the data says about how those goals are actually scored? Well, today, we're going to crack the goal scorer's code. We're going way beyond the highlights to figure out what really makes the best scorers in the league tick. First, let's just talk about the sheer scale of what we're looking at here. As of February 3rd, 2026, an absolutely massive 5,427 goals had been scored this season. That is a huge sample size, which gives us a really clear picture of what it takes to light the lamp in the NHL today. Because it's one thing to say a player scored, right? But it's another thing to ask how they did it. What specific shots are doing the most damage? You might think you know, but honestly, the data tells a kind of surprising story. Okay, so let's start with the absolute fundamentals. We're going to break down the anatomy of a goal and see which shots are the most popular, the most effective in today's game. And wow, right off the bat, the data just screams one thing at you. The wrist shot is the undisputed king of the hill, making up more than 40% of all goals. The snapshot comes in at a strong second place. But then, look way down at the bottom of the list. The iconic, the legendary slap shot? It's trailing behind everything, even tip-ins and backhands. And let me put that into perspective for you. If you just take the wrist shot and the snapshot and put them together, you're looking at almost 70%. That's more than 2/3 of all goals scored. It's so clear that these two quick-release shots are the absolute go-to tools for any modern goal scorer. Okay, but that just begs the question, right? The slap shot is the most famous shot in all of hockey. It's the one you see in movies, the one that makes that thunderous sound. So why on earth is it so far down this list? It's number 5. Fifth. It's getting beaten out by 4 other ways to score. So seriously, what's the deal? Why is the slap shot goal going extinct? And this quote right here, it explains it perfectly. Think about it. A slap shot needs that big dramatic windup, which basically tells the goalie exactly what's about to happen. That tiny little bit of extra time is all a world-class goalie needs to get set, track the puck, and make the save. It turns out power isn't everything. Deception is. So, we know the theory. Now let's see how this all works in the real world. How do the biggest superstars in the league, the guys who get paid to put the puck in the net, how do they get it done? Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating. You've got Nathan MacKinnon at the top, who is basically a human Swiss Army knife. I mean, look at that. He scores with every single type of shot, including an incredible 9 slap shots. But then you've got McDavid and Caulfield, and between them they have a grand total of 0 slap shot goals. A big fat 0. They are all in on the wrist shot and the snapshot. So this shows us that there are 2 totally different ways to be an elite scorer. You can be the all-rounder like MacKinnon, who has a different tool for every single situation, or you can be the quick draw artist like Cole Caulfield, who has perfected one unbelievably fast shot and just built his whole game around it. And speaking of specialists, let's zoom in a little closer on these guys who have truly mastered a single craft. You know, these are the players who have one signature move. Everybody in the building knows what's coming, and they still can't stop it. First up, let's talk about the players who have basically turned the snapshot into an art form. We know it's the second most common goal in the league, but for these guys, it's number 1 with a bullet. Wyatt Johnston is leading the pack with a mind-boggling 19 snapshot goals. But check out Juraj Slavkovsky and Nikolai Ehlers. For them, it's not just their favorite shot, it's almost their only shot. Nearly 80% of their goals come from that one single motion. That's true mastery. All right, now for the artists of the most popular shot in the entire game. These are the players who have perfected that subtle, deceptive, and just ridiculously effective wrist shot. And would you look at that, we've got a 3-way tie for the lead with 17 goals each. And for guys like Filip Forsberg and David Pastrňák, the wrist shot isn't just another tool in the toolbox, it is the toolbox. It's how they score the vast majority of their goals. It just proves you can dominate this league by being the absolute best at the fundamentals. And finally, we get to the rarest of all breeds, the specialist who has actually managed to tame the powerful but tricky slap shot and turn it into a weapon he can count on. Everybody meet Darren Radish. This guy is a total outlier in the modern NHL. While pretty much every other scorer has moved away from the slap shot, Radish has leaned into it, scoring 12 of his 16 goals with it. He's found a way to have incredible success by mastering the one shot that almost everyone else left behind. Okay, so we've looked at thousands of goals, we've broken down the superstars and the specialists. What does all of this mean? What is the secret? What is the goal scorer's code for today's NHL? It means that scoring in the NHL right now is all about the art of deception. It's become a game that's less about raw, brute force power and way more about speed, a quick release, and fooling the goalie. I mean, the data is undeniable. It is far more effective to trick a goalie than it is to try and blast a puck right through them. So the path to becoming an elite goal scorer today is actually pretty clear. Step 1, you have to develop a quick release shot. Step 2, you have to add deception to your game. And then step 3, you either master one of those shots until you are absolutely unstoppable, or you build out a whole arsenal to keep the goalie guessing every single time. And really, that's the bottom line here. In this constant chess match between the shooter and the goalie, the kind of shot you take matters more than ever. Quickness and surprise, those are the most valuable things a goal scorer can have. So, the next time you sit down to watch a hockey game, I want you to look for something different. Look past just the puck hitting the net. Watch for that subtle, lightning-fast release of a wrist shot that totally fools the goalie. And then ask yourself if you're still waiting to hear that nostalgic but kind of rare thunder of a slap shot. I bet you'll start to see the game in a whole new way.